Looking good, looking good. How you guys doing? So, something's been bugging me and I'll get to it, but first let me give you a rundown because there's some additions to what we saw last time. First of all, I want you to look at that. That, I believe, is a ginger sprout. And I'm really excited about that because ginger is like one of the hardest things to grow. So the fact that that is actually sprouting is making me very happy. Very happy. And it's looking a little wet, so I'm going to give it a little bit of a drink. I mean, it's looking a little dry, so I'm going to give it a little bit of a drink. Just a little. Because you don't want to, like, rot them out. Overwatering, actually, is one of the main reasons, if not the main reason, that people kill stuff. They don't need a ton of water. So, some of this is just weeds. Like, a lot of the smaller stuff in here is just weeds. That's weeds. Weeds, right? But that's a ginger sprout. I'm really excited about that. Look at that. Let me see if you can get in here and see what I can see. Way down in there. See that down in there? Oops, that was blurry, sorry. See that? Not this, because, wait, where's my hand? Not that. Oh, I just covered it up. All right, hang on. Hang on. That's ginger turning green in there, I'm pretty sure. So, cover that back up. Let him soak up some water. Okay, so I went and I bought herbs. Remember I was saying that I don't do good with herbs from seed? I don't. I wasn't kidding, right? So I bought some. Well, I bought a couple of plants too, but mostly herbs because that's like the only way that I can grow them. Now, the ones that I get, there's a bug. The ones that I get, they're not the best choice, and here's why. When you're buying stuff, if you get it at a larger chain, there's a good chance that it's going to be plants with neonicotinoids in them or on them. That's bad for the bees, right? Good for the plants, bad for the bees. And actually it kills the bees. So I really don't like purchasing plants from larger chain stores, and I'm not going to mention any here because I don't know if I'll get in trouble with YouTube, whatever. But I mean, not that I care, but what I do when I come home is I will put them on top of the black energetic photos, and I'll put them on top of the Mother Earth ones, the Gaia Sophia and trees. This is a mess, right? But whatever. These, I'll put them on top of those. And then that way it will take out all the bad stuff and put all the good stuff in, and life is good again. So that being said, I got 2 kinds of parsley. And that's supposed to be honeydew, and I'm pretty sure that the birds came and took the seeds out. I'm not even kidding, because those should have sprouted already. So those are various flowers and a couple of different herbs, I think, and I'm not sure if that's just a grassy weed or an actual thing. So we're going to leave that alone for now. This is a flower mix that's not doing well. This was the Cute Root card, which is not doing well because I accidentally left it out overnight and it got really cold. So I don't know if that's actually going to do anything, and I feel really mad about it, to the point where I'm debating just buying a replacement. Anyway, so this was the first tray that I started, and what do we got here? These are squash. So I got a few squash plants coming up. This is arugula. This is spinach that hasn't come up, which means I'll probably throw that packet away, right? Those are random arugula that weren't supposed to be there. That's supposed to be tomatoes, but they're not doing anything. That's a weed. That's a tomato. I don't remember which kind. I wrote it down. I'm not going to go look at it now. Look at the, look, these are yellow. That's not good. Yellow leaves means too much water. So I've been giving these things too much water, and I need to cut back. Most of the rest of this is weed, because keep in mind I used the dirt from the garden. So I don't think those are anything, but see these right here? They're beautiful. They are an heirloom purple tomato of some kind. And then these little buggers are those little yellow pear ones. And they are delicious. They're the best. These are pumpkins. Okay, y'all, these pumpkins took forever to sprout this year. Like 2 weeks, like a really long time. Never had an issue with them taking their time like that before, but they came up. So looks as though I will have 1, 2, 3, 4 pumpkin plants. So I'm very excited about that. I got celery. Fun fact about celery, the plants, the leaves, smell like celery. They're so cool. And they're not hard to grow. I grew it last year or the year before. And I only grew like 2 bunches. And they didn't get very tall because my soil sucks, right? Or at least it did that year. But I got a bunch of them this year, so we'll see what happens. 1 pepper plant because it was the only one that they had. So I grabbed it. This is thyme. So that's going in that little herb garden. 2 dill plants just because I love dill. So that's going in the herb garden. I got some basil that's not doing anything. I got some sage and some other stuff that's not doing anything. Actually, there's a little green thing right there. But see, at this stage, it's hard to tell what's weed and what's actual plant. So I don't know what those are. What's that supposed to be? Coriander or cilantro? Looks like cilantro. I could be wrong. We'll see, right? So that's how everything's going over there. This is the second ginger set that I planted. And of course, I showed you the first one. So I'm extremely happy about that. The lettuce is going bonkers, and it's time to separate them. So I have to get around to doing that here pretty soon. And I don't know. It seems to be taking all the water I can give it. The cool thing about having a plastic thing is that you can actually look in and see what it's doing. I mean, it's kind of hard to tell right now, actually, but oops. But I've been kind of keeping an eye. But they definitely need to get separated. I need to get on that and do it. But they're doing really, really well. This is actually supposed to be lavender. And that might be lavender that's coming up in there. But this guy, it was just kind of a surprise. I have absolutely no idea what that is. I'm guessing I picked up something from, again, it's garden dirt. So there may have been a random seed in there. I have no idea what that is. But that's supposed to be lavender. We'll see what that does. I trust those seeds. Those are the good seeds from the good place. So we'll see. These are watermelon. Wait, watermelon? Yes, watermelon. And those are all doing pretty good. I think I've had some bugs getting, because they went outside for, 3 days this past week. And we're supposed to get snow tomorrow. Yeah, awesome, right? These are, what are these? Oh, cantaloupe. These are cantaloupe. And I had a couple leaves that aren't looking that great, but I think they'll be okay. They should be fine. Sage, which you can never have enough of at all. I've actually got still bunches and bunches of dried sage from someone else's garden. Cucumbers. So, fun fact, right? If you look, I'm going to zoom in here for you. I've got the superfood fertilizer stickers in each corner, right? There's one there, and then let me see if I can turn this around where I can see it. One there, and one down there, okay? Where do the plants look the healthiest? On those 4 corners. And this little guy literally just came up. Let me get you out of the way. This little guy literally just came up like real late. a day or two ago in the middle. So maybe this one will come up too, but I found that interesting that the plants that came up first, and they're super healthy actually, are the ones where the stickers are, which I thought was cool. So these are Brussels sprouts. I've grown Brussels sprouts before. They didn't do great. They were really tiny. I think they just got too hot. They got overheated. So I have to read a little bit more about them. I do mulch everything, or at least I started to last year, but I did not grow Brussels sprouts last year. So we'll see how these do. So everything, I'm at the point now where I'm in danger of stuff starting to die off because the roots are going to get bigger than the containers. And they need to go outside. So hopefully I can get that done in the next few weeks. So that's the update as far as the plants go. And I just figured I'd run in here real quick before I turn the light off for the night. They had a good 10 hours of the light today because it was very cloudy, and it's going to be cloudy the next 2 days. So running that light pretty consistently. But I had some stuff that has been on my mind. So I want to talk to you tonight about something called Koch's Postulates. Koch apostrophe S Postulates. Postulates. There's 4 of them. This is criteria that's used in the science world, quote, science world, that establishes basically a relationship between a microbe and a disease, okay? And I got this information off of the University of Maryland website, just so you know. So it's not like I got this off of, conspiracy health news, all right? Just saying. There's 4 pieces of criteria that make up Koch's postulates. And the first one is that a virus must be present in all cases of the disease. So, I mean, that, okay. That one was actually the one that he ditched right before he died, all right? The second one is that the pathogen from... the second one is that it has to be isolated from the host and grown in a pure culture. Go do your own research and look up what a pure culture is, okay? So it has to be isolated from a host and grown on its own successfully in a pure culture. That's the second one. The third is that the pathogen from the pure culture has to cause the disease when you inject it into a perfectly healthy lab animal. I mean, that kind of makes sense, right? So basically you have to know where the disease is in a healthy host, and then be able to take that from the host and grow it on its own in a pure culture. That means that it can't die, right? I was in the hospital in 2016, and I had Pasteurella multicida. And I was in the hospital for, I hate hospitals, right? I don't go unless I'm nearly dead, which was exactly the case in 2016. I have family members that will attest to that. And Pasteurella multicida apparently is one of those that you put it in a culture and it sometimes dies. Like some stuff does that. It just dies right away. So Koch's postulates, number 1, has to be present in all cases of the disease. It has to be isolated from the host and grown in a pure culture. And then it has to be re-isolated. I'm sorry, back up. The third one, the pathogen from the pure culture. Okay, so now you've put it in a pure culture. It's grown. You have to take it from that pure culture and inject it into a healthy host, basically into a healthy lab animal. And it has to cause the disease, okay? So you have to take a perfectly healthy host, perfectly healthy lab animal, inject it with that pathogen that you grew in the pure culture, and it has to cause the disease. The animal must now show all of the signs of the disease. And then the fourth one is it has to be able to be re-isolated from that host and compared to the original pathogen that was grown in the pure culture, and it has to be a 100% match. Y'all understand what I'm telling you? This is like quote unquote scientific, okay? Straight from the University of Maryland. That just happened to be where I grabbed it from, but there's plenty of other sources to get this from. Koch's Postulates. This is what they use to isolate a pathogen. Go look up the definition of a pathogen, okay? It doesn't necessarily work on bacteria. By the way, this criteria was supplemented later on down the line by the Bradford Hill criteria and Falco's criteria. Go look both of those up. So Koch's was actually used for, it actually started to be used for bacteria, but that wasn't identified until much later. And they've continued to use it for pathogens since. Okay? Come to find out that viruses, by the way, cannot be grown in a pure culture. They need an actual host cell to grow. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a lab person. I don't know how they do it, but I understand the difference between what a pure culture is and needing an actual host cell. Okay? Read between the lines and understand what I'm telling you. This bullshit that we've currently got going on doesn't meet any of this criteria. Just throwing that out there. And that's about all I got for tonight, for now. I had something else too, but I don't want to make this too long. So I'm going to let you go, but I'm giving you homework. You ready? Write this down. I want you to go and look up the definition of Maoism. M-A-O-I-S-M. M-A-O-I-S-M. Maoism. That's your homework for tonight. And we'll give you an update on the plants probably in another couple days. And in between now and then, I think I have, I've been going through old videos because I've had to make some space on my phone and on the device that I upload these videos on. So I've run across some cute ones. I've got one of some rabbits playing around in the backyard. I'll put that up. Okay? But in the meantime, replay this if you need to. Take note. All right? It's bullshit, you guys. All of it. Anyway. All right. That's all I got. Much love. Later.